We are going to talk about the digital dollar again. That's right. We did a clip a couple of days ago about the ECB and their plans to release a digital dollar and what that would look like. We will pop that up maybe somewhere over here or over here. But today we're going to be taking a look at the digital dollar that is being put together here in the US. Shout out to Pirate Beach Bum for turning me on to this particular article. I had told him that we had already covered the ECB digital dollar, and I didn't realize at the time that this was a completely different article about a digital dollar being developed right here. Anyways, here we go. MasterCard, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, and others launch a 12-week digital dollar pilot program with the New York Fed. Members of the U.S. banking community today announced the launch of a proof of concept project that will explore the feasibility of an interoperable digital money platform known as the Regulated Liability Network, RLN. Doesn't that just give you the warm and fuzzies? The Regulated Liability Network. That's right. Trust us. We're going to make sure that whatever liability is there, it's regulated. Anyways, all right, let's continue on. The 12-week POC will test a version of the RLN design that operates exclusively in US dollars, where commercial banks issue simulated digital money or tokens representing the deposits of their own customers and settle through simulated central bank reserves on a shared multi-entity distributed ledger. That's right. It's not a purely decentralized public ledger. It's a shared multi-entity distributed ledger. A little bit more of that exclusionary pay to play. Anyways, the POC will also test the feasibility of a programmable digital money design that is potentially extensible to other digital assets, as well as the viability of the proposed system within existing laws and regulations. Members of the U.S. banking and payments community involved in this POC are pleased to be working alongside the New York Innovation Center, NYIC, that is part of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. I always find that very interesting about corporations, how they can just create these quote unquote innovation centers, but really none of them are really innovating in any way. Like forced innovation that's a shitcoin. Anyways, okay. So here we go. Key aspects of the proof of concept. Regulatory framework. The platform will align with the existing regulatory framework and preserve existing requirements for deposit-based payments processing, notably maintaining know your customer and anti-money laundering requirements. That's right. So really it's not money. It's not money at all, because at the end of the day, like you can't use it without that. And of course, you know what, like on Simply Bitcoin, we had Dr. Ron Paul on several times, and I've spoken to him privately, and it's just the absolute nonsense of the KYC system and the AML requirements and all of this anti-money laundering. I mean, we've shown it. I've shown it time and time again. Even as recently a couple of weeks ago, the biggest money launderers are the banks themselves. They're the biggest money launderers. So it makes no sense. Anyways, okay, so here we go. The POC will simulate digital money issued by regulated institutions in US dollars, although the concept could potentially be extended to multi-currency operations and regulated stablecoins. Tokens. The POC will simulate tokens that are 100% fungible and redeemable with other forms of money. We're going to go back to this regulated liability network. You know that I just can't let that one go. I had to go diving into that. So here we go. Let's go take a look at this. What is the Regulated Liability Network? Well, enter this company or this product, Settle, SETL. In November 2021, a group of financial institutions demonstrated a working prototype based on SETL's open source blockchain solution as part of the global CBDC challenge hosted by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. The technical solution proposed by SETL was designed to scale to meet the transaction volume and throughput requirements of a practical RLN. The purpose of this white paper is to evaluate the scalability of that architecture. To make this assessment, SETL collaborated with, there you go, Amazon Web Services. Oh, look at that. It just makes me think of Ethereum right away. To design and conduct performance tests on a simulated network, aiming to validate that the SETL-based architecture could support 1,000 banks, each submitting 1,000 transactions per second to the network, i.e. a throughput of 1 million transactions per second. That's right. Cannot achieve that on a base layer without total centralization and coercion of the actors. Anyways, let's continue on, because you heard that there's a white paper about this. So we got to go take a look at the white paper. So here we go. This is SETL's white paper, the Regulated Liability Network, and it's powered by Amazon Web Services. So there you go, future of money on Amazon. So look, obviously, we're not going to dive into this white paper, but I'm going to throw it in the show notes for everybody if they want to go and read through it. But let's just take a look at the contributors to it, right? We've got the head of innovation execution at Swift. Okay, we've got Tom McLaughlin from Citi. Okay, we've got Patrick DeCourcy from Payoneer. We've got Melvin Lowe from OCBC Bank, and we've got Kwan Hoon Park also from OCBC Bank. These people would never even dream of figuring out how to use Bitcoin as the base layer, but instead they need to maintain the control and the structure of the current system. Interestingly enough, I obviously had to go and take a look to see, who were the backers of this Settle product. And you'll notice there is no shitcoin, right? You'll notice there is no shitcoin because this thing, like they know that they're going to be making quote unquote real money, so to speak. So they're not going to go and offer up a token so to get a whole bunch of bag holders. You don't need that. You don't need that in this case because everybody's coercing to work together. These are all the banks making sure to keep that giant circle jerk going well and strong. So let's take a look at the investors of Settle, right? Here we go, Settle, blockchain settlements and payments. So in 2016, Deloitte was an early VC, Citibank, Credit Agricole, CIB, and Colendi. So this is interesting. During an acquisition round. Who is Colendi? I present to you Colendi. Business solutions. Grow your business and stay competitive with our agile solutions. Colendi is here for a smooth transition into the fintech world. And let's take a look. Well, one of the things they do is identity and credit scoring. Very interesting. So you incorporate the identity and credit scoring, right? Keep in mind, these people own the product that the pilot program that the banks are going to use for digital money, they own it. So they are most likely going to be incorporating this credit scoring protocol into the money. If this didn't worry you enough as it was, you've got a company where one of the main things that they do is offer credit scoring. They have a credit scoring protocol for digital assets, or for you to be able to use these digital assets and apply credit scoring techniques to them. And then on top of that, they own the platform that the big banks, specific big banks, Citi and Deloitte, which isn't necessarily a bank per se, but they're a huge player in the fintech services, to say the least. These guys are backing Settle. So I got to tell you, that does worry me. I do think that that's creepy. Not the players, but just the fact that this idea of money that is tied to a credit score. I mean, look, we are not far from the money tied to the credit score, tied to the ESG score. And before you know it, you know what I mean? If you didn't do the right type of activity, your lights turn off, your electricity turns off, and your internet turns off at a certain time of the day or something like that. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to the ridiculous dystopian future that can be imagined. Anyways, on a bright note, this is why we have Bitcoin. This is why they're scrambling to make these garbage digital dollars, okay, that will never be able to compete with Bitcoin.